Home and Away spoilers. Justin sneaks around with new arrival Claudia. Next week on Home and Away in the UK, Justin comes to a special arrangement with Claudia behind Leah's back. Whilst Dana is concerned about Bree's behaviour, Justin turns to damage control next week, as he desperately tries to save Summer Bay Auto's reputation in the wake of nephew Theo's blunder. After getting distracted by talking to a troubled Perry, Theo had neglected to carry out services on cars booked into the garage. As he and Justin raced through the tasks the next day, Theo forgot to check the brakes on one of the cars before signing it off as roadworthy. The customer, Claudia Cellini, later crashed into a tree and broke her arm as a result of the brakes failing. The cause, and Theo's responsibility, was confirmed by Justin after he pulled in a favor from the local tow truck driver and inspected Claudia's car. Hoping to sort things out amicably with Claudia before he had to break the news to Theo, Justin suggested to Leah that he would offer to pay for the repairs on Claudia's car as well as her medical expenses. But Justin's email was met with the accusation that he was trying to bribe her, in the hope that she wouldn't sue and get Theo's mechanic license taken away. Justin later asked if they could meet face to face, and Claudia agreed. Next week, Justin tells Leah that he has arranged to meet Claudia that evening at the surf club, and she decides to go with him for moral support. When Theo comes home as Justin and Leah prepare to leave, they cover by saying that they're heading out for a date night. At the surf club, Claudia is immediately put offside by the presence of Leah, thinking that she's being purposely outnumbered. Not wishing to rock the boat, Leah quickly offers to step aside as Justin invites Claudia up to salt. Claudia explains to Justin that it's not just about the money. She needs her car for her job, and she's already missed 2 days. Whilst Justin can offer her a courtesy car, she points out that she isn't able to drive it whilst her arm is in plaster. Nor does she really have anyone who can drive her around. When Justin asks about her husband, Claudia hints that things aren't going well between them at the moment. Claudia takes up Justin's offer of the car anyway, as well as his covering all costs, and it appears that a crisis may have been averted for now. However, Bree is also in salt that evening, and when she spots Claudia rubbing her neck, her mind begins racing. When Justin and Leah return home, Theo is in a panic after receiving a call to say that Claudia's damaged car is already on its way back to the garage. Leah confirms that there's been an accident, and Theo is quick to realize that it must have been his fault. Theo doesn't take the news well, racked with guilt and doubt over whether Justin will be able to trust him again given he's only recently qualified. Meanwhile, Bree heads back to the hospital and brings up Claudia's medical records again. Bree stays there all night, determined that she must have missed something. Claudia isn't happy when she's subsequently called back into the hospital for a CT scan. And when Bree explains that she saw her rubbing her neck the previous evening, Claudia points out it's just a little stiff but she otherwise feels perfectly fine. Whilst Nurse Dana backs up Bree and says that it's just a precaution. She is also perplexed as to why the scan is necessary, quietly asking Bree why they're doing this. Dana is met with a brusque reminder to do what she's told. The apparent need for a scan only causes Claudia to panic, and last night's negotiations soon go out the window when she phones Justin again, threatening to sue him if they find there's something else wrong with her. Claudia's patience is wearing thin as Dana brings her the consent form to sign, again asking if it's really necessary. Bree assures her that it's important they rule everything out, but they're then interrupted by the arrival of Justin. Claudia is dubious about his motives for checking up on her, particularly given her ultimatum, but he explains that it's simply because she sounded so worried on the phone. Whilst Claudia is having her scan, Justin pulls Dana to one side, who, although confused about Justin's part in all this, confirms that she has no idea behind Bree's thinking, but is sure she's just being vigilant. When Bree later returns and confirms that the court is all clear, Claudia is fuming. She's missed another day of work for this, has been panicking about what might be wrong, and it's now all been a waste of time. Rather than face Claudia's ire, Bree abruptly tells her that Dana will take over now and bids her a good day. Dana can't help but be concerned about Bree, and later asks whether everything is alright. As she doesn't seem herself, Bree confirms she's fine and shuts down the conversation, leaving Dana to instead express her worries to Bree's boyfriend Remy later on. In the meantime, Justin hopes to placate Claudia by offering to give her a lift home, shouting her to lunch at the diner en route. When Theo spots him entering the diner, he feels he has to introduce himself to Claudia in order to apologize. Realizing she's talking to the mechanic who caused her accident only sours Claudia's mood further, however, particularly after learning that Theo is not only Justin's nephew, but he's also only been qualified for a couple of months. Claudia blasts Theo's incompetence and the business as a whole, with Leah quick to take offense as Justin desperately tries to keep the peace. Claudia storms out with Justin in pursuit, and whilst she calms down enough to thank Justin for his offer of a courtesy car, she vents that she still doesn't know who is going to drive her around. "I'll do it," Justin blurts out before he's even had time to think. "I'll be your driver." When Justin returns to Leah, he tells her that Claudia's agreed to take the car, but before he can explain about acting as chauffeur, Leah expresses her relief that they can now put the whole thing behind them and move on. As Justin receives a text from Claudia asking him not to be late that evening, it's clear that Justin's plan is to keep quiet about their little arrangement. How long will Justin be able to keep it up before Leah inevitably finds out?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của Home and Away Spoiler Today. Xin chào.